I'm sure at one point or another, you've probably felt like your phone is doing more harm than good. What started out as an
iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator
has turned into this life support system that we can't live without. It's the primary way that we communicate with each other, it captures memories and milestones, and there's a ton of helpful tools within these devices. The problem is, that gives you 1,000 reasons to look at it, and almost every app or notification is designed to hold your attention. Even the smallest things can pull you further away from whatever is actually in front of you. And I know for myself, I just don't feel as good, and I'm less present when I'm reaching for my phone as a crutch. There are times when looking through my phone is almost an involuntary reaction, and whenever that happens, I know it's time to lock things down for a while. The great thing about the iPhone is that iOS has some fantastic features built in to address this, but there are also some more unique ways of locking things down that not a lot of people know about that can change your whole relationship with your phone. And that's what I want to get into today. I've got kind of a love-hate relationship with my phone. I absolutely love how much I can do on here, how easy it is to stay in touch with people, and how much convenience it offers, but I know for me personally, if I'm not careful, I can easily lose an hour on here mindlessly scrolling. I might go to check my email in the morning, which somehow leads to clicking through to social media, which is a huge time waster. And I think what I've gathered is that regardless of what my intention is when I pick up my phone, it's way too easy for that to lead into things that might derail my day, but there are multiple things I use in iOS to address that. First off, one thing I've talked about before is properly setting up focus modes. I've already got a video talking about this, so I won't get too deep into the weeds, but the goal here is to set up screens for different states. So that could be work, fitness, whatever the case may be, and to only have specific apps show on your home screen for each one. The easiest way to approach this is to lay out screens for each state that you want, which you can see gives you multiple pages here, but if I hold down my screen and click this little page indicator, I can hide away any ones that I don't want in my regular state, and then I can go into settings. Under focus, I can choose specific screens for each focus mode. That way, when you switch on, say, work mode, any apps that you might want to click on aren't as easily accessible, which can make a world of difference. For myself, there are also apps that I just don't have on my phone at all anymore. I used to have Threads and YouTube Studio on here, but I found I was on them way too much, and both felt like they were doing more harm than good, so I only access those from my Mac or my iPad now. If you're not getting any value out of it, in my opinion, there's just no point in keeping it, but I do still like to look at social apps on my phone once in a while and to keep in touch with people on them, and if focus modes aren't enough here, screen time can be really useful. I'm sure many of you have seen or at least heard of screen time both in iOS and macOS. Normally what I've seen this used for is to watch or see how much time you spend on your devices, which you can easily access by going into settings under screen time, but this is actually a pretty powerful tool. The thing that I use here probably more than anything is under limit usage, where I can add app time limits. I've got a 1-hour limit set up for Instagram, which is probably one of my most used apps, and a few others where time might get away from me, but you can set limits for individual days if you want to, and once you've got that set up, iOS will let you know when you've hit that limit, where you can either stop or continue in the app. I find this beneficial for when time gets away from me, and it's also a great window into how easy it is to waste your time in these apps without seeming like it's very long. But if you feel like this isn't strict enough for you, there's another step that we can take here. Within that same limit usage menu, you'll see something called downtime, and this is very similar to a focus mode where it'll schedule a time limit that will only open apps that you've permitted to open through this always allowed area. That's a couple items down in the menu. You'll see if I toggle it on, everything is going to be grayed out except for the allowed apps, and if I click them, I get a similar message to when I have app limits set up, but I find this is often super helpful just to have the visual indicator of something that you don't want to be doing at a given time. Also, if you find yourself disabling any of this stuff, you can add a little more friction by hitting this lock screen time settings button in the screen time settings. And then you'll enter a passcode, and each time you want to change something in here, you'll have to put in that PIN. Also, just a note on that, whenever it asks you to use your Apple account in unison with this, I always enable that, because if you ever lose that PIN, you can't go back or you can't change these settings. So if you hook it to your Apple account, in the event that you ever lose your PIN, you can use your Apple account to adjust these settings later. Now, all of that is great, but outside of setting your phone to do not disturb or setting up notification rules within focus modes, all your notifications are still gonna flood in, which can be equally distracting. The first thing that I normally do for this is turn off notifications for all my social apps by going into settings, notifications, and finding the apps and toggling them off, but you can customize these however you want in terms of how and where they're shown, and if they've got sound attached to them. We can also zoom out and more broadly manage things by clicking on this scheduled summary item within the notification settings. You can see this is going to show me where the majority of my notifications are coming from, which is useful in itself, but I can select any of the apps here, add them, and it's gonna bundle all of them up, and it'll only send me notification summaries from these apps at the specified times. I think combining all those things together can promote a healthier relationship with your phone and make you a little more intentional about how you use it, but I know for some folks they really want to take the smart out of their smartphone, and there are a number of ways to do that. You can actually just buy a flip phone if you want to, or something like a light phone, which was made for this exact reason. There's also third-party apps like Opal and Brick that try and address this, but all of these are paid options, and I want to focus on doing everything entirely on the iPhone I already have without spending any money here, and there is kind of an unorthodox solution for that. This is something I think most people probably don't even know is on their phones, which makes sense as it is technically made for people with cognitive disabilities, but if I go into settings under accessibility, I'll go to assistive access and set up assistive access. I can then hit continue a couple of times, and we're going to select either a row or a grid view appearance. You can select whichever one you want there and hit continue, and we'll go through this wizard where we can select the apps that are most critical, like phone, messages, camera, and so on. We'll hit continue again, and we're going to get some general information about using assistive access because it is going to work a little bit differently. With this being meant for people with cognitive issues, some of the gestures change here, and things will be displayed wildly different than what you're probably used to, but if I go through that, it's gonna leave me with a handful of tiles, and the whole experience is very simple and a lot more restricted. This can also be super useful, say if you have kids that are maybe getting to the age where they might need a phone, but you don't want to hand them a fully fledged iPhone. I think it's a good stepping stone in that sense, but it can also be a great way to get away from any unhealthy habits you might have for a while, or if you go on vacation or something and you just don't want it to be a distraction. It's also really easy to get out of this view. All I need to do is click the side button 3 times and it'll bring this menu up where I can go back to my original view. I think the best part about any of these things is none of them are permanent solutions, so there may be times where you feel like you need to turn on some of these things and others where you feel like you don't need them, but in any case, they can be really helpful with mental health and time management. I know personally, I switch these on and off constantly, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. I've also got other videos on the channel with useful iOS tips and tricks that I will link down below, and I'm gonna do a full-on iOS 27 setup sometime next month, so make sure to stay tuned if you want to see that. Also, if you guys would be interested in seeing what different options you have when setting up a phone for your kids, or really anything that you want to see covered within iOS, please let me know in a comment down below as well. If you want to see more tech-related content or help me set up a focus mode for my eventual disappearance into the woods, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next upload.